I want to take you to Pennsylvania and the site of Maple Grove Raceway, where on this particular day, the National Muscle Car Association was hosting a nostalgia muscle car race. And interestingly, one of the competitors at the event was none other than Mr. Ron Mancini. And we can see Ron here working underneath of a hood of a, you guessed it, a Max Wedge Mopar. Now, Ron had advanced in the Muscle Car Eliminator bracket to the final round, driving this great-looking 1962 Dodge Dart car with the name Ram Charger on the side of it. His opponent was Erwin Vanke's old Brownie 1963 Max Wedge car. So here we have it, Ron Mancini in another final round of eliminations. Now, he was a runner-up down at Bristol. Let's see how he makes out at Maple Grove. Well, it looks like Ron is going to be a happy racer here. The R1 Vanke car draws a red-white start, giving an automatic wing to Ron Mancini. And, of course, he stops the clocks with a 10:57. Good run, Ronnie. And as we look at Ron put the car up on a trailer, we're going to stop for a minute and talk to Ron about his racing career. Okay, well, we're standing here with the winner of the Nostalgia Eliminator at our Muscle Car Show at Maple Grove, Pennsylvania. And Ron Mancini's the driver. And Ron, I saw you put the car in a trailer. Usually you think about being put on the trailer, it's a loss, but you came up to be the big winner today, huh?
Yeah, well, you want to put on a trailer when everything's done. That's the time to put on a trailer.
Tell us a little bit about today now. You were in competition here at Maple Grove, and you were driving this 1962 Dodge. Tell us a little bit about the car.
Well, we kind of copied or tried to bring back some memories of the Ram Charger days. This is kind of a duplicate of what the Ram Charger started with. Very same basic package, and kind of in tribute to the guys. They did such a great job, and we've been lucky so far and able to get the car to go as quick as we needed to. We're still learning. I've been out of it for almost 15 years now. And some of the old techniques and theories have kind of fell by the wayside, and a lot of new stuff has come along. So we're still, this is the third outing for the car, and we're still learning. We're picking up as we go, and so far so good.
Well, you must be learning quite quickly because it's only the third race, I understand, since you've had this car together now, and 2 out of those 3 times you've been in the winner's circle.
Yeah, we were unfortunately, we hurriedly put the car together for the first meet at Atlanta, and we trucked all the way down to Atlanta and bent a couple push rods, so it kind of put us out of competition. So we had a long ride home. Went home and kind of pieced everything together, and it's been kind of good from that point on.
Well, today, take us through that final round. You come up against Paul Suloff. I believe he is the 1992 champion out there, and you were lined up over there in the right lane. What was going through your head?
Well, the light, that's where it's all at. The cars are all pretty close, and I felt if I could just cut a real good light, I had a chance. And unfortunately, Paul red lighted, but that happens. I did it during class. So if you don't red light once in a while, it means you're leaving late. So you gotta see the red light once in a while to kind of keep your senses about you.
Well, you mentioned that you've been away for 15 years and you're finally back. I want you to take me back to when it all first started for you. I understand that you have the Ram Chargers name on the side of the car, but you have a connection right into that Ram Chargers group back in the early 60s.
Yes, my uncle was one of the original members. Him and Tom Hoover did most of the engine work, and my uncle Dan did a lot of promotional stuff for the Ram Chargers. I started at Chrysler in '63 when the Ram Chargers were really hitting it hot and heavy. And being on afternoon shift, I was able to go to the garage and work for them during the day when everybody else was at work. I picked up a lot of knowledge from those guys, and I eventually got into it professionally, I guess you'd call it, in 1967. We started with believe it or not, a 1963 Max Wedge car, and did quite well with it. Again, I'm sure luck had a lot to do with it, but we did real well. We won the points championship in '67. We set several records. The following year, we went to what they call a Dodge Dart with a 440 single 4-barrel, sponsored by the Dodge Dealers Association. And we led in points right until the last meet, and Wally Booth, which I'm sure a lot of people remember, beat us out at the last race by 100 points. The following year, we went to a '64 Dodge all-steel Hemi car, and that car was probably the fastest super stock car in terms of being able to run under the index or record at the time. I was running like 4/10 under. Wow. But unfortunately, when you've got a car that goes that fast, you tend to get lazy in your driving habits, and that's exactly what I did. I took a gigantic snooze against Ronnie Sox at Indy. I blew the transmission out of the car at the World Finals, and I was ready to kind of throw the towel in. I said, geez, you know, I've always got a good car. I've never been able to win a national event. Chrysler said, hey, go at it one more time, go at it another year. You're always there. Eventually, your luck's got to come your way. Well, sure enough, we went to Hemi Dart in '70, and I won 2 championships back-to-back, York, Pennsylvania, Spring Nationals, and in Indy. Let's see, the following year, same car with a 4-speed. I went all the way out to California at the Super Nationals, and I won that one. And then in '73, same car again with a 4-speed. I won the Spring Nationals in Englishtown. Let's see, the last win I had before I crashed was 73 points meet at Columbus, Ohio. And at Indy in '76, I lost control of the car going into high gear. The oil filter had come loose. Got under the tires, I lost control, and I hit the guardrail, and I kind of bruised my arm up quite a bit. But I still got it, still usable, so here I am.
Sure are. That's a great history. I want to take you back to '70 before we talk about the crash, but okay. I'm familiar. Of course, we saw you at the Superstock Nationals down at York in 1970, and I believe I saw 2 cars, didn't I? Was there a Superstock A car and a Pro Stock car?
Not under my camp. My brother, Lou Mancini, had a '69 Roadrunner and running in a Superstock C automatic, which was very competitive. I should say stock, C stock automatic. He ran Superstock G for a while, but then he went to stock and he did quite well with it. We had several cars out of our, as you say, camp, all painted with the same color scheme, yellow with orange stripes. And Bruce Hawk, I think, is one of the guys that bought one of my Hemi Darts.
I'm wondering, I usually ask the drivers from back in that era if you had one particular person that was really trouble to you when you went to the races. Was there any one person that stands out in your memory as being really tough on Ron Mancini?
Well, Ronnie Sox. You know, I ran him at the first national event I ever went to. I got to the finals with that '63 Plymouth. And going back now, I don't feel too bad. I actually cut a better light than he did, but the car ran right on, and at the time you were able to go a 10th under, and he was able to go 400 or 500 under. And when we went through the traps, we were side by side, so I think I would have won if I could have even won a couple hundreds under, but unfortunately that's the way it goes. And then again at Indy, at that time he outdrove me. He just caught me taking a big nap.
So during that period of time, you were sponsored by the factory, getting some help from them as you were putting the program together?
Yes, by the factory, and Gratiot Auto Supply, who was quite a big outfit at the time, gave us some sponsorship. Yeah. Wrote the name on the side of the car, and so we've had a pretty good time.
The only bad time, as you mentioned, 1976, unfortunately a crash. One of those things you can't predict is going to happen. An oil filter comes loose, we get oil under the tires, and bingo.
Yeah, you know, the ironic part of the whole thing is I had told the wife I was going to kind of get out of it because, you know, I got 4 boys and spent a lot of time from home, and I says, you know, I'll just make this the last race and well, I'll call it quits. Well, I had to go out in a grain bang style, I guess.
Yeah, you sure did, but you're back. I'm looking at 1994, and after those 15 years, what was it that brought you back to the racetrack?
Well, I ran into a real nice fella, Don Wakowiak, who owns the car, and we both have restored '63 Max Wedge cars, and we've run into each other at some of the cruise nights. So he was kind of hot to trot to get into this nostalgia thing, and he asked me if I'd drive. I said sure, and sounds like fun. You know, it's 5 or 6 races through the summer. It doesn't really get me away from home a lot, and so far I'm having a ball.
Yeah, it looked like, and of course it's got to be good when you end up winning a race like this, coming in the winner.
It's always good to win. It makes the drive home a lot easier, a lot shorter.
Sure does. How long are you going to keep doing this now? With a break of 15 years, you come back, it's fun this year. Do you expect that you're going to do it for much longer?
Yeah, I'll probably continue. Probably until I need a walker to get to the car, and I'll stop.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, you do something else that I think is interesting is you're talking about going to cruises back home. You know, we tend to think of race car drivers as coming to the race and doing their thing there, but you've stayed involved with what the average people are doing on a Saturday night, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love cars, and especially the old ones.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Ron, we want to thank you very much and congratulate you on a big win here at Maple Grove. And who knows, maybe we could find you as the overall champion for this year, huh?
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Thanks a lot.
Sure would. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, as we come back to Bristol, we're going to watch that final run in Superstock Eliminator again. And I hope that you'll agree that it's really great to hear from the drivers themselves after all these years.